Today on the media review segment of the program, we shall be taking a look at the social protection policy of Nigeria. Are we there yet? And the role of the media in projecting this initiative. To shed more light on this, I have with me in the studio Chief Editor-in-Chief, Global Centennial, Senator Iregbu. It's nice to have you in our studio.
Thank you.
All right, I think we'll just start on a lighter note. Your name, Senator. Are you Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria?
That's my name. In Nigeria, we actually have some interesting names.
Okay.
Like we have people having answering Henneken, manager,
Okay.
independence. But when you actually interrogate, it has some very deep meaning, apart from what you know as a senator representing some constituency.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, now to the topic of the day,
Okay.
the social protection policy. So what is the state of this policy in Nigeria currently?
Okay, the social protection policy of Nigeria, of which the current administration is called social investment policy of the current administration, is something, it has not really generated the kind of national interest
Okay.
it should, because of the history of doubt the public always have when government initiates some of these policies. This is not the first time, but this current one seems to have a more holistic and encompassing approach.
Okay.
If you remember the administration of the predecessor, that's President Goodluck Jonathan, actually have some of these, the popular one, you win. There's also a conditional cash transfer during the administration.
Yes.
Then there is this Shopee programs
yes.
they introduced to alleviate some suffering that came with the partial removal of subsidy. So now when the administration came, they actually adopted some of those social protection policy of the past administration, though the past administration were kind of a bit haphazard, but they tried to bring it into an encompassing policy. But whether it has met the target or intended aim and objective is something that is still subject to debate, because people still have doubts in how the policy, the implementation, because one thing is to have beautiful policy crafted in paper. The second thing is the implementation, and most times in this our climate, especially in Nigeria, we have beautiful policies on paper, but when it comes to implementation, that is where we get it wrong. That's a different ballgame.
Okay, you've spoken about the issue of doubt, trust, the
yes.
issue of trust.
Yes.
Why is that a problem? Because we have so many instruments put in place to ease poverty, to take a look, to put a check on HIV, the scourge of HIV, insecurity, inequality. So why is the issue of trust coming up?
The issue of trust...
Because in other climes, governments come up with policies, programs to alleviate poverty, to meet the needs of the people. Why is it different with us?
It's with us because they say there's this axiom, once bitten, twice shy. Government has disappointed the people a lot over time. They cannot match their words with action. They say one thing, then you see another thing. Even still in this current administration, it's just even beyond what the public perception. Even people from that you can say that are close to the administration. You heard what the First Lady said the other time. Attacking this same policy, what was her grievances? That since the sum of 500 billion was actually budgeted for this policy, and she says she have not seen anything. She made her own personal inquiries, especially she singled out two states, Adamawa, her home state, and Kano State, where the head of this special advisor to the president on social investment, as Madam Mariam Weiss, came from. And there seems to not be kind of accurate data and statistics about it. One thing is that, like I told you, is the planning before you start this, because when government came, it's about 4 policy in one. One is the other one, Empower, that they want to target the unemployed graduates and non-graduates.
And they still anchor borrowers.
Yes, yes. Then the issue of GEPP, that's a Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program, where you have this trade money, market money, farmer money, you know. And this one of it, which is the very most popular and very controversial one, the trader money. You know, the way it was being implemented, nothing was heard of it until few months to the election. And how it was planned on paper was supposed to be carried out by microfinance banks, giving non-interest loan from 10,000 to 100,000 to traders, farmers, market association, as it may be. But what happened? The vice president, in the heat of the election campaign, was going about in the market giving out this money by himself. So he get muddied up with politics. That's one. Then secondly, the issue of the third one, conditional cash transfer. The conditional cash transfer is to target the poorest of the poor in Nigeria. You know, they say they want to target about 1 million poorest of the poor in Nigeria. But before you start this, where is the statistics? How did you get this poorest of the poor?
Okay, now data
and that's
is
why
an issue. Data analysis is an issue.
Data implementation, devoid of politics. Like I told you, how vice president went about it. I'm just trying to buttress to you why the trust is not there and what fuels or sustain that mistrust.
Okay, now let's talk about one of the instruments. Now, some of the traders complained about the amount, that it's just too small. And then you hear them say, oh, I make this in just a day.
So that's where even...
So where is the acceptance coming from?
No, that's why even the policy, the implementation is because I told you it's a beautiful policy.
Yes.
It's well implemented. That's why the implementation is faulty. It's not meant for those who don't actually need it. It's not meant for those who say, this is small. Like if you listen to the First Lady, when she was saying, she said there was one old man she interrogated in Kano. He's doing business. So what do you need for your capital? To say, between 3,000 to 4,000.
Wow.
Do you understand? They actually, like, I had a story. One of my colleagues, he met someone in around Maraba market who came to, he thought maybe just came to beg. So, you know how he dismissed, later something touched him, came back. He said, okay, what do you want? He said, please, what he need is 2,000 to start pure water business. So, which he was surprised. He gave him the 2,000 and went where. Before he finished and came back, the guy has finished that pure water, going to buy
another bag.
So, to tell you that, you know, everything is in layers. You, 2,000 may not be anything to you. But there are people actually 1,000 is something for. But you have the data. That's why I'm telling you, when people complain, okay, 10,000, yes, it's to some people, it's actually nothing. But there are people who actually that makes a lot of difference. But is it devoid of, or is it just a campaign? You just go and give it to people who don't actually need it just to make a camp. It's just like how you give people 5,000 to buy votes.
It's that funny with that 1,000 or 2,000. You see them thrive in that business. Now, let's bring you back to the issue of the media. Do you think the media has done enough in projecting the initiative, in making the people accept, since there's an issue of trust?
No, it's not the role of the media to make the people to accept. It's the role of the government to carry the media along to make sure the people accept. Because media won't start selling government policy. Media reports what they are seeing. If people are mistrusting of government policy, media will report it. If they are believing of government policy, media will report. But it's government action that will make the people to trust it. one thing I realize that government don't factor in media component or communication strategy in most of their policies. They have a lot of media people speaking for them, but it's a knee-jerk,
or
reactive.
is it an issue of being objective?
Apart from being objective, being accountable
Okay.
and transparent, and carrying the people or the media along. For example, this thing was introduced, I think, around 2006. It was before they came in, it was about in 2000 they started implementing, but nothing was much was hard except reactive. Maybe when they want to do it, they just call media.
Okay.
But they're supposed to be, for something of such important magnitude, there's supposed to be periodic media review or accountability. You call the media, say, see the see the number of people who have met, who have, like their school feeding program,
yes,
or the cash, a conditional cash transfer, or whatever. They see the number of people who have reached, see the challenges we are facing, see what our plan is. It can be quarterly, it can be monthly, but nothing like that is being done.
Okay.
So that's why you see the media not being, they are not proactive. So media, like I told you, reports what is, they report the facts. And
okay,
the fact is that it has not endeared, the policy implementation have not endeared government to the people enough.
All right,
yes.
Senator Irubu, thank you so much for your time. This is
Thank
the much
you.
I can take from you. It's really interesting.
Thank
you very much.
You're welcome.
Don't forget, Nigeria is our country. We must embrace every positive initiative.